Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Traveling with Terry. I've got a couple of minutes on my way from my home to the office to chat with you a little bit. Had a training that I did with some good people earlier this week, and I wanted to share some takeaways with you from that training on a very simple and powerful way that you as a salesperson, a customer service representative, an account manager, an entrepreneur, a leader, if you happen to be meeting with a potential customer or an existing customer and you have a meeting scheduled with them and you sit down with them, a really simple and powerful way to start those kinds of meetings off. So let me tell you a quick story. It was about, I don't know, at this point in time, close to 17, 18 years ago, living in Denver, Colorado with my brand new bride, my new wife. We had gotten married in 2000 and moved to Denver for work. And it was about a year later that we had our first child. Then not too terribly long after that, child number 2 came along. And then baby number 3 came along. In your early years, you try to get the kids here quick and fast while you're young and you have energy. Anyway, I was working in a sales position and didn't know a whole lot about sales at the time. And I stumbled across a sales trainer named Gary Harvey there in Denver, Colorado, who ended up becoming somewhat of a mentor of mine. I really appreciate him. He passed away a couple of years ago from cancer, and always have appreciated his mentorship and his good leadership to me in those early days of my career. But anyway, as I sat in one of his seminars or in one of his workshops, he shared a simple framework that I've never forgotten and I've used for years and years and years to start meetings with potential customers. And one of the challenges that he mentioned is oftentimes when we sit down with existing customers or potential customers, there's an initial kind of awkwardness that where we kind of start the conversation off with some social commentary, some kind of friendly banter, some friendly chit chat about the weather, about how busy people are, about hobbies, or about politics, or about just kind of friendly banter, right? To kind of break the ice and that sort of thing. And then we typically kind of jump into some sort of an introduction. If this is a potential customer that we've never met with before, we'll kind of jump into some sort of introduction about who we are, about the company that we represent, and that sort of thing. And then we might kind of jump into, the topic of conversation and hear, what's on their mind, etc. And the challenge with that sort of thing is maybe back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that sort of thing was helpful and productive. But these days, typically when people meet for business, they want certainty. They want to know that they're in good hands. They want to know that they are working with someone who's a leader, who's credible, who is going to guide them, direct them, and help them get to where they want to go. They also want to feel like they're respected, their time is respected, that they're going to be focusing on things that are going to help them and whatnot. And the challenge is when you and I start off conversations with potential and existing customers with light and friendly banter, and then start off with an introduction, both of those things tend to not leave our potential or our existing customers with a feeling that their time is being respected, or that they're going to be focusing on things that matter to them the most, and that sort of thing. So they kind of leave this kind of lingering just concern in their mind. So with that in mind, I want to share with you this simple framework, this 4-step framework that my mentor, Gary Harvey, back in Denver 18 years ago, shared with me, that I've never forgotten, that I've used in every single meeting since. It's very simple, and it has an acronym to it. The acronym is TTAP, TTAP, TTAP. And I'll kind of run through this four-step process for starting off meetings with your potential customers and your ideal or your existing customers. So the first T in TTAP stands for thank you. So when the meeting starts, you sit down, just simply express gratitude and appreciation for them and the opportunity to meet. You might say something like, Kevin, it's great being with you today. Thank you for coming over to the office. I've been looking forward to our conversation today. That's it. Short, sweet, and simple. Express gratitude and say thank you. The second T in TTAP stands for time. right after that, you want to double check the amount of time that they have for the conversation, the meeting. Some things might have popped up that last minute that might prohibit them from taking a full 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour. They might only have genuinely 15 minutes to chat before they need to go. So the way that you address that really quickly is something like, Kevin, I've been looking forward to our conversation. Thanks for coming over to the office. Appreciate the time. How much time do we have to chat today before your next meeting or the next fire that needs to be put out or something like that? And they'll respond with, oh, no, I've got 30 minutes or I've got an hour or whatnot. It's good to set expectations on the amount of time that is available early on in the conversation so that you don't run into any sort of surprises or any sort of hiccups there. Now, that's the T for thank you, T for time. Now we get to the A. The A stands for agenda. Agenda. Now, the agenda part has two elements. You want to hear about what they want to focus on and discuss it during the conversation, but you also want to share with them what are some things that you want to talk about and discuss in the conversation. The agenda needs to be mutually created, a collaborative effort there. So you might say something like, so Kevin, during the next, 30 minutes or so that we have to chat, what is it that you want to make sure we talk about or discuss that would help make this time that we have together most beneficial for you? And at that point in time, Kevin or whoever you might be meeting with is going to tell you the 2 or 3 or 4 things that are top of their mind, that are most important for them to understand. And when you do this, when you ask that sort of a question, you really put them and their agenda, their interests, their desires, their goals at the front and center of your conversation. So they really feel respected. They feel appreciated. They feel like you're more focused on them and their needs than you and your needs, right? And so that's really critical, really important there. So you thank them for taking some time out of their day to come meet with you. You double check the amount of time that you have for the conversation. And then you ask, what would they like to focus on during the conversation that would help them the most? And you get that agenda out on the table. And after you've kind of summarized that, you've written down some notes about what they want to focus on. The next, you share with them a couple of things that you want to focus on. You say something like, Kevin, during the course of our conversation, I'd love to ask you some questions about your business. Are you okay if I ask you about this topic and this topic and this topic and this topic? And they say, sure, that sounds great. So once you've shared your agenda that you want to ask some questions or you want to present some things or you want to, dialogue about, something, then you've got the full agenda out, what they want to cover and what you want to cover. Expectations are super clear on all that. Okay. Now the last in TTAP, TTAP, we've thanked them. We've checked the time. We've covered the agenda. The last P stands for potential outcomes. Potential outcomes. Hey, good morning, Barb. Good morning, Patrick. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me on my morning commute this morning. We're talking about a powerful and simple way to start off meetings with potential clients as well as existing clients. So the last P in TTAP, TTAP, stands for potential outcomes. At the beginning of the conversation, typically you want to mention when the conversation is over. When that 30 minutes or 45 minutes or hour is over, what are the potential outcomes? What's going to happen as a result of that? Where do we go next? If you're meeting with a potential customer, then chances are the conversation has gone good and it might make sense to move on to the next step, say in the sales process. That might be, for example, putting together a quote or a proposal or a bid or mapping out a scope of work or something like that, and then scheduling another meeting with them. However, if the conversation hasn't gone well and it doesn't make sense to continue, then you might just be shaking hands and parting as friends and that sort of thing. That's fine too. If you're meeting with an existing customer and, the potential outcome of that conversation might be that a second meeting might need to be scheduled, or there might be a report that needs to be generated or something like that. But the point of the matter is when you get to the end of the conversation, you want to have a clear expectation of what happens next. And you want to talk about those up front early on in the conversation. So there's no ambiguity of where we're gonna finish the conversation. Does that make sense? So TTAP, TTAP, my mentor Gary Harvey 18 years ago shared with me really a simple and powerful way to start off any conversation with a potential customer or an existing customer, and I've been using this for years and years and years. And one of the things I love about using this 4-step framework for starting meetings is it makes you look like a rock star business person. It's respectful, it's systematic, it is organized. It's not random and haphazard and talking about the weather and your kids and random things and talking about yourself and introducing yourself. Like, none of that. There's plenty of time for that later on. But you want to start your meetings off on a strong note, on a strong foot, very respectful, very credible, very professional, very customer centric, customer focused. So anyway, I recommend to you TTAP, TTAP. Say thank you. Double check the amount of time, set your agenda, and talk about the potential outcomes of the conversation up front before you do anything else. After you finish TTAP, then you start on your agenda item number 1 and you just carry on in the conversation. So anyway, I hope that helps you. I hope you use it. I've used it, as I've said, for years and years. It's been a great blessing, and I hope it makes a difference as you meet with your existing customers and your potential customers. So happy Thursday to you all. Hope you're doing fabulous. Today, as you guys know, is week number 6 of our next level leader coaching workshop. We meet every Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. online via Zoom. All of our clients who are going through the program, it's a 12-week program. If you're looking to take your leadership skills, your leadership abilities to the next level so that you can take your business to the next level, then reach out to me. I'm happy to invite you as my personal guest to join us for a couple of weeks, so you can try it and see what you think before considering jumping into the investment. But if you like it and if it's something for you, then invite your team to join you. I promise that you'll be coached and mentored in a way that'll help take your leadership skills and abilities to the next level. So have a great rest of your day. Keep up the good work. Always great to be with you, and I can't wait to be back with you once again tomorrow on my morning commute to work. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching. Did you know every company out there has what we call digital marketing blind spots? These are simple, hidden opportunities for growing and improving your marketing that most of the time people miss. Go to www.arcanemarketing.com and take advantage of our Rise and Ignite digital marketing analysis. It's 100% free to get fresh new insights and ideas to make what you're already doing that much better in 2021.